Hi, I'm Anna from Flow and Purpose. And if you like many people, you might have a relentless inner critic that constantly puts you down, makes you feel inadequate, and holds you back from living a full life. You might be struggling with self-criticism and constantly telling yourself you're not enough. You're not alone though. This internal battle is something many of us face. And what if I told you there's a way to understand this inner critic not as an enemy, but as a part of you with good intentions? Today we're going to explore a powerful approach called internal family systems, or IFS in short, which offers a compassionate way to work with your inner critic and find lasting healing. We'll be drawing on the insights of Dick Schwartz, the developer of IFS, to guide us. Dick Schwartz, in his work with clients, and particularly those with eating disorders, noticed something fascinating. His clients would talk about their internal experiences using the language of parts. They would say things like, "When I get triggered, this critic attacks me," or "this part makes me feel worthless." And this led Schwartz to explore the idea that we all have different parts within us, each with its own unique perspective and role. What's crucial to understand is that these parts aren't just random thoughts or feelings. They're like little sub-personalities, each with its own history, emotions, and motivations. And our culture often misinterprets these parts, especially the critic. We think of it as just a negative voice, maybe echoing our parents' criticisms, so internalizing the parent. But IFS offers a different perspective. IFS suggests that these parts, even the critic, are not inherently bad. They've taken on specific roles, often in response to difficult experiences, particularly in your childhood. They're trying to protect you in the only way that they know how. So Schwartz discovered that these parts are often frozen in time, stuck in the past trauma or the difficult experience. So if you were criticized harshly as a child, your inner critic might still be operating from that time, believing that it's protecting you from further hurt. When you ask clients how old they feel when a part is activated, they often give a single-digit number, reflecting this frozen state. The critic, for example, might be trying to prevent you from taking risks or believing that if you don't try, you can't fail, so you won't get hurt again. And this is why simply arguing with the critic or trying to suppress it doesn't work. It's like trying to reason with a scared child. Instead, IFS encourages us to approach these parts with curiosity and with compassion. When we approach our parts with curiosity, something amazing happens. We begin to access what IFS calls the self. And this is your core essence, your true nature, which is inherently wise and compassionate and resourceful. The self is characterized by what Schwartz calls the 8 C's. And I will list them. It is calm, it has curiosity, clarity, compassion, confidence, courage, creativity, and connectedness. So when you are in self, you can observe your parts without judgment, and you understand their intentions and can offer them the healing that they need. This is different from simply trying to suppress or control them. It's about creating the space for them to be able to heal and to transform. Imagine trying to listen to your inner critic. You might find yourself getting angry at it, that's likely another part of you reacting. So IFS encourages you to step back and create some space, access yourself, that place of calm curiosity, and you can ask from there your inner critic questions like, why are you doing that? Why are you calling me names? And what are you trying to protect me from? So within the IFS framework, there are two main types of parts: protectors and exiles. The exiles are the parts that carry the pain and the fear and the shame from past experiences. They're often very young and vulnerable parts that we've pushed away in trying to avoid feeling those difficult emotions. And the protectors are the parts that try to keep the exiles contained and to prevent them from being triggered. And there are two types of protectors: the managers and the firefighters. The managers try to control your life and prevent anything that might trigger the exiles. And the firefighters, they step in when an exile is triggered using impulsive behavior or things like binge eating or even substance abuse, dissociation, these kind of things, in order to distract you from the pain. So your inner critic is often a manager, trying to keep you safe from the pain of rejection or failure. So when you understand this, you can begin to have compassion for its efforts, even if its methods are actually harmful. So the goal of IFS is not to get rid of your parts, but to heal them. And there are several steps in this process. So in order to begin, you have to find yourself, to access this calm and compassionate center within you. And then you get to know your parts, approaching them with curiosity and understanding. There's a step which is unburdening the parts. You help them release the extreme beliefs and emotions that they carry. And finally, you restore trust in the self. You help the parts trust that you, your adult self, has self-leadership and has support for them. So when you approach your inner critic from this place of self-compassion, it can begin to relax and to transform. It might realize that it no longer needs to be so harsh or controlling. It can then take on a more positive role, like motivating you with encouragement instead of criticism. So this was just a brief introduction to connecting with your inner critic through IFS. Remember, this is a process and it takes time and practice. So be patient with yourself and your parts. The key is to approach them with compassion and with understanding from this place of your self.